Hello, I'm Chris Hoyt, president of CareerXroads, a membership-based community of talent acquisition professionals, and welcome to our end-of-year update for 2022. These updates have, over the last 2 years, served as sort of an informal quarterly snapshot to keep community members, alumni, and non-members alike updated on what's happening within the CareerXroads community and what's ahead. Today's update is not all that different as we share what's going on as we round out another year at CXR. CareerXroads now delivers 2 community membership levels: our traditional corporate membership for talent acquisition leaders and their teams from all around the world, and our Talent Solutions Community, or TSC, which was launched last year with the objective of bringing just 15 founder and CEO leaders from vendor companies, bringing them all together to strengthen their networks and collaborate together on their own unique TA space challenges. I'm pleased to report that both communities continue to do quite well and see notable growth, even in challenging times that so many of us are referring to as economic uncertainty. Our corporate membership now consists of well over 100 companies and brands who now are meeting under the CXR umbrella monthly, with a new edition of our open mic meeting that was requested last quarter at our 3-day in-person leadership meeting that was held in Chicago. Now, that meeting invites just the number 1 or number 2 leader of TA from each of the companies to share what's on their mind and what they're working on. Thus far, those meetings are not only insightful, but have turned out to be quite fun and well received across the board. We'll be continuing that new meeting format throughout 2023, and leaders can expect to see those calendar blocks within their inbox soon if they haven't found them already. Now, membership numbers continue to be strong for our corporate cohort. CareerXroads is looking at almost a 99% retention rate of existing companies that are moving with us into 2023. And this quarter alone, we have warmly welcomed 5 new companies to our community that stands now at over 5,000 recruiters and recruiting leaders strong. So as a reminder, outside of an exciting new startup group that was created last summer, our multinational member companies all hire between 2,000 and 200,000 people a year each. Now, that's not the rule, but it's the average. So you can imagine how fun some of these conversations are when we meet. Our TSC membership that I mentioned earlier, that was originally planned to only have 15 member companies, has seen some growth of its own. The TSC leadership has opted to expand that cap to 30. That's doubling the size of that side of the house and leaning in together to establish new industry baselines and ethics or standards within talent acquisition. The fun experiment and community that we've taken on has been a year of learning. And while we're showing continued interest within the industry and the community is growing, we're learning a lot. Most notably, that the goals of the TSC are aggressive and will require additional time and resources to deliver successfully. That's why we're looking forward to finding new ways to open opportunities across the vendor aisle, if you will, that will ultimately allow for more open collaboration and connections for all of our members. And you will see plenty of that from us in 2023. I'm excited to report we actually currently have 11 companies interviewing for membership presently, and we're hopeful to announce new additions to that TSC side of the house in January. Now, as a quick reminder, CXR does interview all companies and leaders interested in joining, and we have a very strict set of ethics and conduct and guiding principles that each participant leader must agree to in order to join and remain part of the community. It is another thing that we believe sets us apart from other membership organizations. Now, from a platform and technology standpoint, our members continue to guide the evolution of tech that is made available to them as part of their membership. We have launched several interactive benchmark reports that have been received quite well, added some significant enhancements to the community connectivity and messaging that takes place between members online, and greatly streamlined the registration, onboarding, and engagement process for new members and companies that was a bit overdue. I am particularly excited to announce a new learning series that is being developed and is expected to launch in early January within our platform. This new member benefit will consist of several learning courses developed by CareerXroads and delivered by industry experts, some of whom you very likely already know and love. Topics currently in development are candidate experience, pay transparency as a recruiting advantage, and maximizing community. Now, these exciting updates are being included as part of existing and future CXR memberships at no additional cost, mostly because I don't like the math and trying to figure that out. The CXR directory does keep evolving, and now with nearly 600 solution providers that are listed and dynamic ratings that have been added to profiles of every page. Vendors can now be rated by community members on delivery, implementation, pricing, and support. And it's done quickly and easy with just a few clicks. Logged in community members can see those, over 6,000 ratings, as individual scores and as a general overall score now. An increased number of our directory listings have opted to sit and be interviewed with by our partners at Aptitude Research. Now, the Aptitude Research team now delivers a full and impartial analysis that not only includes a company overview, but also a ton of media and case studies and testimonials for viewing and downloading by members and non-members alike. Just keep in mind that the 6,000 ratings that are submitted by our members are still only visible to current CXR members. That directory, of course, can be found at cxr.works/directory. Now, as I did mention earlier, we're in a time of challenges and uncertainty with budgets and jobs, especially for recruiters. So at CXR, we automatically pull in all of the recruiting-related jobs of our member companies through a partnership with one of our TSC members, Aspen Tech Labs. That means that hundreds of career sites are scraped daily and filtered for TA-related roles, and those results now presented to the public at cxr.works/jobs. These are done seamlessly and with no additional effort or technical assistance that is required from the participating companies, those members. We're calling it an auto-magical import. And as of this morning, I think we had 204 recruiting jobs that were available, many of those remote and several at the director level or above. We have built in newly a job alert feature that allows for our current and alumni members to set up job alerts based on keywords and location searches. Now, results can be seen on demand or set to be delivered to their email addresses daily, weekly, or even monthly. So I am strongly encouraging everyone in our space to share this link with colleagues within their networks. I can guarantee we all have someone in our recruiting network that's being impacted, and our hope is that this CXR benefit will help our members help their peers. I am pleased to report that this year we conducted a monthly guest lecture series for our members and sometimes to our alumni as well. Our team partnered with external resources and talent hunters to bring in experts on topics like growth mindset, performance optimization, leadership secrets, time management, unconscious bias, and more. There's 12 of them. What should be noted is that these are topics that our CXR leaders and members said were important to them. And so these are the topics we delivered. You can see those and what's ahead, of course, at cxr.works/lecture. Now, this year, we're making sure that future, current, and past speakers can be available to expand on their session or speak within your own organizations, should you let us know you're interested in having them present. A few leaders have jumped at this and reported great success in sharing internally with more senior leadership and broader teams across HR. The benefit of our membership is rapidly becoming one of our leaders' favorites. The ability to have an entire team of recruiters or your HR professionals attend top-notch and live TEDx quality speakers and sessions within the CXR platform is a really nice developmental aspect of CareerXroads that we're excited to continue into 2023. Our team has already locked in 6 of those speakers for next year, and we're looking forward to announcing them very soon. On another front, our recruiting community podcast has been slowly but surely growing in audience, now averaging a few thousand downloads across various platforms like iTunes and Spotify, wherever you may be listening. We're finding our sweet spot of guests and show tempo. The idea is that these sort of augment conversations that happen within the industry to help you and your teams keep a finger on the pulse of what's happening within TA. We're not sponsored, and there are no ads, and you won't find us trash talking vendors or doing any crazy stunts. What you will find are real conversations that are fun and delivered in roughly 20-minute sort of snackable segments. The guests on the show include our own community leaders as well as TA and industry folks from around the world, and there isn't a topic related to TA that it seems we aren't willing to touch on. What's been really great about the last few months is how we have managed to incorporate live chat into the show for folks on LinkedIn and YouTube. Now, this is turning out to be a great way for people to jump into the show themselves and even strengthen their own networks while learning something or just having a laugh together as we chat. And oftentimes we'll take those live inputs or those questions and overlay them on the screen if you're watching, and certainly read them out for those that might just be listening. The broadcasts are mostly live each Tuesday on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and of course the website, CXR@work/podcast, where past and future episodes, of course, can be found. Now, you may remember earlier, I mentioned a live meeting that took place in Chicago in October. This kicked off our return to live in-person meetings, and I'm pleased to announce we have finalized our in-person meeting schedule for 2023. It can be found on CXR.work's site, where members are able to lock in those events onto their own calendars and plan to attend. I'd encourage you to do that now. The live events will be capped at participation levels, so you're going to want to get in there first. The topics were chosen by our leaders and more active community members, and while we're doing at least 5 in person, we're also continuing the online meetings for all aspects of recruiting. So those virtual events will also be found listed within the events page. Also, there will be an increase in dinners and networking opportunities in the local markets. We rounded out the last part of this year with networking events in Chicago, Atlanta, New York City, Las Vegas, Dallas, Austin, and a few others. And these are really, quite honestly, wonderful ways to connect with folks you haven't seen in a while, or maybe you've never met in person, not just with Jerry and myself. And we'll help you to strengthen those relationships with those colleagues. Still on the networking and relationship front, we have brought back the CXR Book Club. Our own Barb Reese runs this fun series where participants can select a book and meet twice on each book or topic to share their own take and some learnings from each other. This is a really great way for anyone in the recruiting industry to strengthen their network while reading some pretty great and informative, helpful development books. I do believe, however, we have even had a Netflix documentary or two snuck into the book club, but the benefit remains. Fun ways for recruiters, members, and non-members, it's open to anyone, to connect and work on their own development in a fun and safe place. So I'd recommend everybody forward the CXR.work/books URL to their team. Lastly, I want to draw a little bit of attention to something we're doing that is related to CareerXroads, but is in effect its own entity, and that's our CXR Foundation. Now, a few years ago, we established the CXR Foundation as a 501c3 nonprofit. It has been working tirelessly in partnership and with the help of dozens of leaders, recruiters, and business partners volunteering to deliver things like recruitersrecruitingrecruiters.com, which is now very easy to say, our annual $10,000 scholarship that we do, CXR Cares, the history of recruiting, mentoring programs, and of course more. I am so proud of the work that goes on there, and to be able to tell you, after concluding our final board meeting of 2022, that next year is going to be even better. So if you're interested in being part of the organization at any level, and we do have a few board positions coming available, let us know. You can find out more information over at cxr.foundation. That is a URL. It is an address, cxr.foundation, or reach out to one of our team members directly. We have a lot ahead of us next year, and the programs we're working on are pretty exciting. So this isn't everything that we do at CareerXroads, but this does highlight some of the updates and emerging work performed by our team and built on by the community at large from just the last quarter. And I know that I've said it before, but at CXR, we are reminded every single day when we talk with our members, both live and online, just how lucky we are. CareerXroads is a community built on trust and made of thousands of recruiting industry professionals that care about the success of each other and our industry. Now, I will share with you very quickly as I sort of wrap this up. A few months ago, a leader reached out to me because they had just been put in charge of recruiting at a very large organization, but had an HR background and no real practical recruiting experience. So we spoke for a few hours about what's going on in the space and where focus is for many, and how people are dealing with mega social events, budgetary challenges, tech stacks, so on and so forth. And at the end of the call, he said to me, "Man, it's a really crazy time to be joining and learning about about recruiting." And I said, "Yeah, it's always like this. And I don't think anybody that I know would have it any other way." So at CareerXroads, we hope that your year was as fun and fruitful as it was for our team and our community, and that you'll take some time rounding out the year and spend it with people that you care about. Moving into next year will be a challenge for many, and I hope you have a network of friends and family, community that you can both lean on and lift up.